So this is a game that is obviously I didn't play in. This is a replay that uh I actually forget what his name is, but someone in one of the my buddies in GLHF sent me this replay of a game that of a clan battle that they played versus K. And uh well well they're in the voice chat with me and I honestly forget what his Discord name is, so he's going to start talking cuz he played this game and not me.
Okay, so I was actually calling the game. I'm in Yu Yang here, and so looking at it, it's against K, really good clan. They've got a YOLO Cape Merc with them. So our standard deployment here is we're throwing the Smolensk into C. We're throwing the Moskva on the rock at right there where I just pinged, actually.
Yeah, the usual
Um,
Moskva spot.
yep, usual Moskva spot. Jacksonville and Yu Yang are going to go to B to kite. Normally, however, this game we actually put Jackson at C because we're gonna want to put more DPM because they've only got one DD, and so we're hoping that they're gonna throw the Kleber into C to stall that. Um, and so what we do is we send the Novo and Kondai up the 1-2 line, and they're gonna play for A. Um,
Right.
so then
It's interesting you brought a jackass or a Jacksonville without a smoke destroyer.
Jackson lives pretty well without smoke. We've found it's a really good kiter, and normally that's what it's used for. Normally it's put on the kite with the
Yeah.
Yu Yang, and the Yu Yang's really good on the kite because of the radar, obviously, and then
Yeah, and
the
then the
deep
deep
water torps.
waters that
Yeah,
nobody wants to push into.
yeah, and the deep waters are going to play a big factor in actually winning this game. So, our
Yeah.
Moskva's going into his standard Moskva spot. Our Columbo's coming up. He's going to play around G6 area, and Tiger's actually here. He was playing the Columbo this game, so I don't know if he has any input right now on our initial
Uh,
deployment.
Based on the fact that they already got B before the Smolin even got to it, that is 1000% the Kleber that everybody saw coming, so makes sense.
Yeah, which is actually really good for us because we're running a 2DD comp here, so they won't have spotting to spot our Kondai Novo push as
Well,
long
the
as they stay
Kleber
dark.
hauled ass from C there. I would honestly be like, if I were you, what I usually like to do is this is just what I used to do when I played Yu Yang. I would like kind of hug the bottom of this, or I guess the top of the edge of the cap circle to try and get my torpedoes to just fire into A right there. Because we know it was the Kleber that was in C, so whatever is capping A is 1000% a cruiser and can be hit by your deep waters that you do have the range to hit them. And you know that whatever's north would be going into A anyway, so I think you could have launched torpedoes a lot faster there. But that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah, so the reason I'm holding the Torps actually is because we're kind of expecting their BB to pop up, yep, right about there. And so I'm going to immediately launch Torps at him and Torpedo Reload Booster to possibly launch my second set. It's going to depend on where he goes.
There's the
But
Nova
then there's
Subverse.
that Novo, yeah.
Yeah, that's also a pretty long range wishful torpedo shot on the Columbo. I am not sure I would have. What I would have done is I would have torped into their home cap as I described earlier, and then pretty much pushed up to about where you are now. And then if I spotted the Columbo and I thought I could get a shot, then I would hit my torpedo reload. But that's just I think that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah, so looking at their deployment, they put that Orange kind of countering our Moskva, which is going to be a huge issue for our Moskva because Orange bombs hurt if they hit. That's the key there, though, if they hit. But luckily, he's going after Yoshi, who's playing
Yeah,
the small and C.
yeah, they're trying to drive the Smolin out of the cap. That makes sense. You've not spotted the Svea as well, which is a little worrying, but
Yeah, we're assuming Svei's on their kite. We're assuming that Svei actually is the one that took the cap at A. So we're
That's
assuming he's out
fa
1-2 line-ish.
yeah, fair assumption. I don't think that Svea would be that far out. If his job is just to hold A, he has no reason to push all the way out to the 1-2. At best, he would be on like D1, D2, somewhere around there. Just in case that you, just in case to spot a 1-2 push, but 1-2 pushes aren't really a thing for the most part, unless I'm just out of touch because I haven't played clan battles in like 6 months. The 1-2 pushes could be meta now. I don't fucking know, but I don't think that Svea's pushed out that far is what I'm saying. But what do I know?
No. You see here Novo's radaring. That's
Yeah.
more of an info radar. He's trying to figure out everything that's actually at C, and then he catches me in the middle. Take a little bit of damage there, but nothing too bad. And then we're gonna see that other Novo, he's set up on that island, and he's gonna be annoying to deal with. He's gonna
That
be a big player
Conde,
later.
that Conde's running it down at Dramaspa there. Honestly, your Conde's actually spotted right now, which I think I might have to eat my words here. That Svea might actually be out on the 1-2, so I'd be looking at just fucking running at this Novo and assassinating him.
Well, we do find the Conde is there, and the reason I'm not looking to assassinate him is I'm looking for possibly picking spot back up on that Novo, and then sitting in mid and keeping the harassment up on that Novo who's going to get onto that island and stay there for basically the rest of the game.
Well, here's the thing. Where that Novo is right now, I mean, it looks like you might get lucky and get a torpedo or two on him, but you're basically firing at him when he's bow in. Whereas if you run at this Novosibirsk, you assassinate him. Where's my thing? Let's just you assassinate this Novo right here. Instead of being like in the middle and trying to launch torpedoes at his bow, once you're in A and you're capping that, you'll be able to have a much more broadside target to shoot at with torpedoes. And again, he is pinned up against the island, so he can basically only go forward or reverse out of the way of those torpedoes.
Yep. And so this is where the game starts getting a little dicey for us. So we take out their Condai, so we draw first blood, but they've pushed our small end out of C, and they've got the Colombo in there with their Kleber, and then that Orange is now turning to Kite. Our Mosfa's almost dead.
He's going to die sooner rather than later, more likely than not.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at a way to stall points to get into C, stall them at least, and then we're looking for the play on killing the Svei and that Novo at A. So we're rotating our Colombo over to B to help with that.
I'm not, this is going to be the last time I say this. I think your play would have been running at that Novo and just assassinating him, because you might take a little bit of damage from it, but that's whatever. You kill the Novo, and then you get A, you'll have on double cap, and then your Colombo, your Smallland, and your Jackassville can just play the kiting game, instead of being in this position now, where you have a cockroached Novosibirsk. It's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. A Conde that's getting out-traded by a Svea, because the Novosibirsk attention is split between the enemy Novo and the Svea. But whatever.
So, the funny thing is, I'm about to go assassinate their Colombo here.
Yeah, I see that.
This is the point where I look at Yoshi and I'm like, I'm going to just rush this Colombo. And he's all for this, because then even if I die here, he gets back into cap. And that Kleber is last spotted on about 5k, 6k, so we're not worried about him. So I'm going to launch my Torps and then turn into him in case I have to launch the second rack. But I'm looking at Tiger, and Tiger's got his guns on the Colombo here to finish him. In case, right there, he gets left on 6k, I'm gonna launch the other rack of torps just in case he does not go down. But Tiger
That's
gets him there.
understandable.
And so now I'm in C, undetected, and I'm gonna take the cap here.
Yep. You... No, I don't... You're in a very slight risk of getting reset by the Novo if you get radared, but whatever. He's having a thing that we call other problems at this second. And
Yeah.
speaking of other problems, your friendly Novo is having those as well, because there's a fucking Kleber in his mouth.
Yep, and
And yep,
Kleber torp rushes him, which is unfortunate, but we have cap advantage now, and we're on win con. So now we just have to play defense. And so Smallland is over at B playing defense with the Colombo, and then Jackson is trying to kill their Orange right now. And then my goal is just to keep that Novo on that island, because right there he cannot do much. He can't get into the cap, and he can't really go deal with their Smallland.
you're going to pull a battleship player and run into an island. No. Prince Von Orange is gonna get away. He looks like he's pretty low though.
Yeah, and there's no reason for Discount to chase him there.
Yeah.
Discount's actually going to come back more towards C to help me deal with that Novo if he does decide to push in. But him pushing in would force him to take a fight with a Colombo, and Sap does absolutely devastate Novos.
Yeah, because it's everyone's favorite balanced ammo type.
So Novos popped his radar there, so we know that's on cooldown. And then that other Nova, we know he's pushing. So I'm coming back out mid. And my goal, like I said, is going to be to keep that Novo on that island so he can't get into C. So I'm going to zone him out with Torps. These Torps are not meant to actually kill him. They're just meant to keep him there.
Yeah. Personally, what I would have been tempted to do is just post up pretty much right where the Colombo died. That would give you a torpedo shot at this Novo playing Island Cockroach here. And if this Novo were to push into, or to try to push into the cap, he would just eat a face full of torpedoes at point blank range because you have a reload booster. And then if the Prince Von Orange decides that he's going to try and be cute and push into C after escaping the Jackassville, you can just be like, okay, you can either torp rush the fucking Prince Von Orange, or you can exit the cap and torp rush the Novo.
Yeah, that would have been a good play too, but I'm thinking at this point, okay, I need to get over to B to try and help Yoshi deal with the Svei that's pushing, who's going to be really annoying for him, and there he gets spotted, actually. Yeah. The Novo that's going to be pushing, and then we were thinking the Kleb was going to come with and try to assassinate Yoshi.
I don't think so. I don't know if that's a ledge Kleb or not. I'm assuming it is, so it's probably not going to be super keen on picking a gunfight with a Smallland. Even, I mean, I guess if he has a Svea like right on his neck, maybe, but I still don't think a ledge Kleber would want to pick that kind of gunfight. Especially not when there's also a Colombo right there.
Yeah, so we see our Jackson discount. He's pushing into C, and he's going to take the fight with the Orange, because we know Orange is in the cap. And so we're betting on Jackson winning that fight. He's got the DPM on Orange, and I'm going to open up here briefly, trying to, since I'm radared anyway, realistically, and I'm going to just get in behind the island. I'm trying to get as much DPM so that Prince Van Orange doesn't spot or doesn't ram out our Jackson.
As much DPM as possible, and you fired one shot.
Yeah, well, I got distracted by trying to make sure that our Colombo actually survived.
Yeah, it's one of those things. One of those things that we call other problems.
Yes. And so, unfortunately, I believe he does get the ram off.
Yeah. That is...
There. Or not even a ram, he just dev struck him through the nose.
Oof. That is suboptimal.
So, I'm gonna come back into the cap. We are on one cap, but we're betting on them taking B at this point. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them to C so that we're not on
That
triple cap.
Colombo's fairly low as well. Colombo's still on 20k. There's no immediate farming risk aside from the Svea, who's actually pretty low. He actually might, Colombo Sap might fuck him up here.
Engine boost deactivated.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
And so I tuck behind the island, and we're looking at this, and Smallland, we're looking at our Smallland. He's very low. Our Colombo is very low. So I'm going to set up, in the case that these two die, to get out of the cap, and if they're on WinCon, basically torp rush that Novo so that we get the win. That would be an absolute desperation play, but...
Yeah, because there is still the other Novo that is honestly more likely than not still on that island.
Yeah.
And Kleber's not been spotted in 10 years either. Oh, and this is everyone's favorite replay bug where the scores are flipped. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm popping the radar just in case that Novo is coming around the island, just so that I have a brief second where I see him first.
Even if he was coming around the island, even if he did get into the cap, as long as you don't die, you're good, because you're still ticking on your home cap.
Yep. And so we secure the win there. Very good play against Kraken, who I believe was number 6 in NA during that game.
Imagine losing to a... Like imagine being like number 6 and you lose to a Storm clan, Kappa.
Yeah, they lost to 42, so oof. GLHF officially better than Kraken, confirmed.
You see the proof right here. I think the big thing that I would have done differently, obviously what you did ended up working out, so I'm not gonna hash you too much for it, but I think it wouldn't have been as close as it was if you had just gone and assassinated the Novosibirsk that was sitting on the island in their home cap. Because if you had done that, like I described earlier, you would have gotten a much nicer, much cleaner broadside torpedo shot on the Novo that was on the contest cap. You would have had basically a broadside to shoot at, and he would have been pinned up against the island, so you can only reverse or move forward. You had the Colombo there that would stop him from like trying to turn any kind of weird ways. And then if you had taken that Novosibirsk, then your friendly Novo and the Conde could have just hard walked at the Svea, and you probably would have saved the Conde doing that, because the friendly Novo's attention wouldn't have to be split. That would be their entire kite side done and dealt with, and then all you have to do is switch to kite mode and hold on to your hold on to the 2 home caps basically.
Yeah. I could have done that. You're right. I mean, 2020 hindsight being 2020,
yeah,
probably would have won the game faster that way, but also it worked.
Obviously, what you did worked out, so I'm not going to hash you too hard for that. But that's just like, when you see a target like that, you kind of just develop a sense over time. Whenever you see something on on an island somewhere like that Novo, for example, you kind of get a sense that you can just look at it and immediately know whether that's a rush target or not. Well, let's say that Svea wasn't on the 1-2, which credit where it's due. You actually were right that he was out there. So I was wrong. But let's just say that the Svea was much closer to the Novo and he was just sitting on his home cap babysitting it. Or there was the Conde over there or something, that would have been like, no, I'm not going to rush that. But because that Novo was basically isolated, the other Novo you already knew burned his radar at that point, so you can immediately go dark once you kill that other Novo. You just kind of develop that sense for, is that a rush target and can I live doing it? And if I cannot, is the trade worth it? That sort of thing. But that's like you said, hindsight's 2020, and it's easy for me to sit here watching the replay being like, oh, you should have done this, this, and this, and this. Like, when you're actually playing the game, it's a lot different. You're not thinking through like 20 different possibilities and outcomes at once. You're thinking stuff like, oh my god, there's a fucking Kleber in my mouth, or something like that.
Yeah, and it's worse when you're calling and you're playing Destroyer.
Yeah,
so
that's,
me and Yoshi were kind of tag teaming that one, and we're both in DDs, so
yeah,
our
that's,
attention is split.
Yeah. But I think I've said pretty much everything I have to say for this replay. You have anything else you want to add, aside from Yoshi sucks?
No, I think Yoshi sucks. He almost threw the game, actually.
Yeah, I saw
Goris
that.
also almost threw the game in the Conde, but you know.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. How does a fucking Conde lose a gunfight to a Svea?
Because the fucking Novo backed up and slapped my side a couple times.
Why did you
That
go
makes
and get
sense.
slapped by the Novo, though? Why didn't you stop at the island?
Because I was told to push. Mr. Call.
Fair enough.
Okay, to be fair, I think it was Yoshi that said that, but yes.
Yeah, the destroyer on the opposite side of the map told you to push.
Yes.
That makes sense. Anyway,
don't know.
anything else you'd like to say? I don't know when Goris showed up or how much of that he heard, but if not, then he can just watch this video back when it goes on YouTube.
Wait, I don't watch your videos.
I don't
watch
either, to
Zeka's
be
video?
fair. I mean, to be fair, I don't watch them either, so that's how I sometimes get like weird ass audio bugs and I don't realize it until after I've already uploaded it and be like, oh shit, OBS like update fucked something again. Oops.
To be fair, if I see that you post a video of a DD that I'm interested in, I'll watch it. Because you're much better than me, but
Wow, I was joking. I guess Roy was not.
Okay,
I mean,
well, since Goris is here, do you have anything you want to add to this before I end this one?
No, I mean, I think it was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. We reacted well to how they were playing it, and hey, we won against Kraken 16 in NA at the time.
Yeah, GLHF is better than Kraken, confirmed. You see it here first.
We're sitting pretty high, but not that high.